Has this started yet? I can't hear anybody.
Well, good morning, everybody. Friday, September 6th, we're got agenda review for the meeting on Wednesday, September 11th. We'll talk about, obviously, it's a symbolic day, a big day that we want to honor and recognize. So at the end, we'll talk about how we can do that that meeting. But Manager Stoltz, why don't you run us through the agenda, and we'll talk about that.
Steph, are you going to talk about public announcement here?
Hello, everyone. Stephanie Birmingham, Strategic Communications. The best county announcement is that Nicole Gibbs will be back next week from maternity leave. So yeah, she'll be at the podium instead of me. You had mentioned, that's a good thing. You had mentioned 9/11. We will, for county announcements, we're going to put together a video on the 9/11 Memorial Stair Climb this weekend, Saturday at the Epic Center. We're going to play that video. We're also going to have Chief Williams come up and talk about it. We have about 20 firefighters from the county taking part. And then the historic courthouse is also going to be lit up in honor of 9/11. The other thing, as far as county announcements, Suicide Prevention Month is September. So Joan Tammany from ComCare is going to come in and talk about that. And that's it.
That's good. We have two proclamations. One of them is Suicide Prevention Week proclamation and also Constitution Week. For new business, it's pretty much the Chris Labrum show, but we do have item E is Dr. Klaus will be here to talk about suicide prevention data and suicide data. It's always a sobering presentation when she's there. F, G, and H are setting public hearings for IBC, IEBC, and IMC. So that's building code, existing building code, and mechanical code. And then we go into a consent agenda. Item I is Lynn's item. They've hit a magic threshold where they're going to put a four-way stop control at 39th and 119th West. We have item I is an improvement, a drainage improvement around Valley Center, the Harvest Place Phase 1 development. The county, and Lynn can talk more on this if there's questions, the county is responsible for 50% of that funding in that project when it goes forward, which it runs at about $1.1 million. Anything else on that, Lynn?
I would just note that amount is being paid over a 3-year period. So we are first installments is coming this year, and then we have already, as a part of the approved CIP, approved the 2025 and 2026 payments.
Confirm that number again, Lynn.
Well, 1.157, I believe, is the number.
Yeah, it's 1,157,427. And then item K is the capital improvement amendment to go with that item. Item L is the ability to, I think, get a second curb cut for the EMS post number 1, which is going up on 13th, right, Tanya?
Right. Item L is basically a resolution that we typically use for closing documents, anything related to items for acquisition. But what Tom mentioned is on that particular property we're working on for the EMS post. We have 1 point right now for ingress egress. And so we're working on a second access point for, actually it's for the egress for that EMS post. And so we're working through that zoning process. If we cannot get that second point, we are probably not likely to continue with that acquisition of that EMS post.
Okay.
But we're going to go through the process and see if we can get that. So EMS has shared with us they are not particularly interested in that location if we can't get 2 points of ingress egress.
Wow. Can you clarify who's those discussions? Who are we having those discussions with?
That would be with planning.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a city zoning.
It is.
matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, items M and N are agreements. Item M is a mental health pilot program through CompCare and Valley Center School District for some mental health assistance for that school system and the kids. $102,237 grant. And item N it's actually a KDADS grant coming through to IDD here, and this is the START program. Chairman, I don't know if you want to talk on that at all. You're briefed on it, but this is the grant which will begin the process for us to serve dual diagnosed IDD patients who have severe mental health issues. And Tim's not here to talk about this, but I don't know if you want to.
No, that's
talk
it.
about it.
This is a grant
This is the
process.
start of that grant.
It's a
And
new program.
It's considerable. It's a $351,040 grant.
Yeah.
So
good.
And then item O is reclasses. And the only thing I'll mention on that is there's Kelly Arnold has worked with HR and I for the last several months. He has 3 reclassifications on there. Kelly's trying to, I think he's here today, but he's working to build an infrastructure team to handle the tax system role of the clerk's office. This is an important reclass for him. And this is on the agenda for on the consent for next Wednesday. So that's it and there's no fire agenda, no exec session that I'm aware of, right? Okay.
Commissioner Dennis?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. Several things I want to talk about today. First, we all received an email this morning from Chief Williams, and he starts it off. Today is the anniversary of one of the worst days in Sedgwick County Fire District #1 history, with the death of Todd Colton. He wants us to all remember Todd Colton today and take a moment to reflect on his service to our community, and we sincerely want to honor. We've got 3 firefighters in Fire District #1 that had passed, and Todd is one of those 3. So please keep him in your hearts and prayers. Second thing I want to talk about briefly is there's a lot coming up this coming week. And tomorrow we've got the firefighter stair climb over at the Epic Center. So if anyone wants to come, they do have some events. They're going to start with the team leaders at 8 o'clock. They'll have an opening ceremony at 8:20 to 8:45, and they'll begin the climb at 8:46. That's an important time for the 343 firefighters that passed. All of the firefighters that are climbing are going to have a picture of the firefighter that they're climbing for that didn't make it back out of the Twin Towers. So it's something to help recognize that. I plan on being there for that. So that's one thing that's coming out. On September 11th, 9/11, it actually starts, and that's when we have a meeting that we just talked about. Starts that morning at the Firefighters Museum on Broadway, South Broadway. So I think we could probably make that ceremony that morning. I think the ceremony is at 7 o'clock and still make it back for a 9 o'clock meeting. This meeting looks pretty short. I'm hoping to stay short because Honor Flight 100, which is an important number, the 100 honor flights, will be coming back that day. And the governor's going to be in town. The ceremony will be held at the Red Roof Inn. I think the governor's speech will start somewhere around 12:30, 12:45. But when I came in on 98, there was no parking whatsoever. My wife parked in the field when she showed up. So get there early, or you won't find parking around the Red Roof Inn. It is a touching ceremony. since I just went through it, it's burned into my memory as one of the greatest things that I experienced. But if we can get our meeting done with plenty of time to get out there and get staged and get a parking place, I think that that would be a great thing if we could be out there for that ceremony. So those are a couple of things that are kind of hot, but they kind of conflict with our meeting on Wednesday. So I hope we have a little bit of leeway to make sure that we can make all the things, since we're the board for Fire District number 1. It's even more important that we represent Fire District number 1, but also remember those that died on 9/11. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. We'll do our best to keep that meeting tight on Wednesday. Anything else? That's it.
Just gonna say, I would like to just take a couple of minutes on Wednesday, talk about Constitution Day. Just, I know it's on the resolution, but rather than being short with my words, I'd like to just take 5 minutes if I can on that day, maybe less than 5 minutes to talk a little bit about Constitution, if that's okay.
Sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, we should be good on time. It's all up to Chris Labrum.
We're just sitting here.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, have a good week. Football. High school football starts tonight in school, so enjoy. Okay, have a good weekend.